Welcome to this video about the SAP Integration Solution Advisory methodology. Let's first take a look at the agenda of this video. We will start with today's integration challenge for enterprise architects. Then we will look at the use cases of the SAP Integration Solution Advisory methodology and learn how the methodology can help to tackle this integration challenge. Finally, I would like to share with you some information about how you can get started with applying the methodology within your organization. So let's get started. Today's enterprise architects are challenged to manage an increasing scope of integration along fast-evolving hybrid landscapes. In order to support new business initiatives, new applications and technologies are introduced, which often imply additional integration requirements which are not covered by the existing integration you may have in your organization. The SAP Integration Solution Advisory methodology is designed to help enterprise architects to address 4 common challenges they typically face when designing an overall integration strategy for their organization. How do I evolve the integration architecture of my organization to be future-proof? How do I define a hybrid integration platform to support both SAP and non-SAP integration technologies to cover all the needs of my organization? How do I manage increasing integration demand? And when do I use what integration technology? How do I implement an agile integration practice and empower experts to implement integration scenarios on their own? And all these areas are influenced by the customer context. This is, for instance, existing investments and skill sets which will influence which integration technologies you may choose. The overall enterprise architecture strategy and future application landscape will define and impact the scope of the future integration architecture too. To help enterprise architects to tackle this increased scope of integration, SAP has introduced the SAP Integration Solution Advisory methodology, in short ISAM. ISAM is a technology-agnostic framework to define and execute an integration strategy for an organization. It comprises of SAP-delivered accelerators, such as a catalog of integration use case patterns, architecture blueprints, and integration best practices. Customers and partners can adapt the pre-delivered accelerators according to their needs. ISAM has been adopted successfully by multiple global organizations. While the ISAM framework as such is available for free, you can also implement the methodology with the help of consultants from SAP or SAP partners. Now let's take a look how ISAM fits to the intelligent enterprise strategy from SAP. Along the evolution of the intelligent enterprise strategy, its scope has been expanded from delivering an integrated intelligence suite to also cover other solution domains such as experience management, industry cloud, sustainability management, and more. Especially for delivering an intelligent suite, SAP has defined key principles for integration. The first principle is out-of-the-box integration. This is something you expect for SAP to SAP integration scenarios. SAP aims at delivering integrated business processes which spans across the various lines of business solutions, such as SAP S/4HANA as the digital core, SAP SuccessFactors for the human resource management, SAP Ariba and Fieldglass for the procurement solutions, the SAP Digital Supply Chain portfolio, and more. The second principle is open integration. On the one hand, SAP applications provide public APIs, which all allows you to integrate the same with non-SAP applications. Furthermore, with SAP Cloud Platform Open Connectors, SAP offers more than 160 APIs to integrate with non-SAP software as a service solutions. The third principle is holistic integration, where SAP is aiming to integrate SAP business applications on all dimensions, on the level of data, on the level of processes, and the user experience. Furthermore, SAP does not only offer integration technology, but also delivering an integration methodology complementing this strategy. And this is the SAP Integration Solution Advisory methodology. This helps you to tackle integration from a holistic perspective. The fourth integration principle is artificial intelligence-driven integration. In the same way as we are embedding machine learning technology into SAP business applications, it into integration technology too. For instance, the SAP Cloud Platform Integration Advisor leverages machine learning technologies combined with crowdsourcing approaches, which can propose you interface definitions and mappings with the best fit to your context factors. For instance, the industry you're with, geographical location, and your role in a business process. Now let's take a look at the use cases of the SAP Integration Solution Advisory methodology in more detail. The methodology supports the following use cases. You start your ISAM adoption journey with the first use case where you can access the integration strategy for your organization. As part of this assessment, you identify future building blocks along upcoming business initiatives like digital transformation projects. Once you have completed the integration strategy assessment, you define a hybrid integration platform for your organization. A hybrid integration platform is typically nothing you can simply procure, but it's something you shape on your own by combining existing integration technology which are being enriched with new ones to support the new digital transformation projects, for instance. As part of the third use case, you define integration best practices, which help integration developers to implement integration scenarios based on well-defined standards. The fourth use case covers the organization dimensions of integration. It is all about introducing an integration practice for your organization, with defined integration roles, responsibilities, and processes. So let me now walk you through the single use cases. We will start with the first use case to assess your integration strategy. With the integration strategy assessment, you can document and review your integration architecture by scoping of future building blocks. The assessment is done with the help of pre-delivered accelerators such as integration domains and a catalog of integration use case patterns. There are many reasons for performing an integration strategy assessment. Customers often revisit their integration strategy when moving to the cloud and adopting more and more cloud applications. Another driver is the move to SAP S/4HANA. Others do this when consolidating their integration technology portfolio or along mergers and acquisitions. Let's take a closer look at how such an integration assessment is being performed. First, you do the assessment on a high level with the help of defined integration domains. Integration domains describe the typical integration areas within a hybrid system landscape. Most customers have on-premise to on-premise integrations in place. On their journey towards the cloud, they need to support also on-premise to cloud integration scenarios. Depending on the business context, you may also look at other integration domains, such as user to on-premise or user to cloud integration, so meaning that you need to integrate with user-centric applications like mobile devices, desktop applications, and more. Or you might look at integrating with things, with the thing to on-premise domain or thing to cloud integration domain, where you connect with physical devices with the help of sensors. The next level of assessment is done with the help of integration styles and integration use case patterns. Integration styles represent different categories of integration, which is process, data, user, and thing integration style. Each style has specific characteristics and can be redefined by use case patterns. For example, the data integration style includes use case patterns such as data replication, data virtualization, data quality management, and data orchestration. Cross use case patterns are the ones which cannot be related to a single integration style. This applies, for instance, for API managed integration. You can use API management, for instance, together with process integration use case, for instance, along B2B integration scenarios where you're leveraging API management for exposing public APIs to your partners. Or you can use API managed integration as part of UI integration use cases, for instance, for applying API access policies and API governance to those APIs which are used by user interfaces and mobile devices. ISAM includes an initial set of use case patterns that can be extended by customers with additional use cases. So you can think of, for instance, introducing industry-specific use cases which are not covered by the methodology as of today. Like integration domains, integration styles and use case patterns are technology-agnostic. Moving on to the second use case, the design of your hybrid integration platform. You design your hybrid integration platform by mapping the scoped integration styles and use case patterns to integration technology categories. This is an approach which is open to integration technologies from SAP and the ones from other vendors. The final selection of an integration technology is highly dependent on the customer context. For instance, existing investments in integration technology, the overall enterprise architecture strategies significantly influence the decision for choosing an integration technology. Here you can see how the integration style and use case patterns can be mapped to the respective integration technology categories. Technology categories are, for instance, ESB, which is an enterprise service bus, iPaaS, which is an integration platform as a service solution, API management solution, and many more. In most cases, there is no one-to-one mapping between an integration use case pattern and an integration technology category. For some use case patterns, you may combine several integration technologies. For instance, for B2B integration, where you could leverage an iPaaS solution together with an API management solution for the modern way of doing B2B integrations. And in turn, most of the integration technology solutions support more than one integration use case pattern. This slide illustrates how a sample mapping using SAP integration technology could look like. Let's take the data integration style as an example. For this area, SAP offers SAP Data Intelligence, which is a unified and scalable enterprise AI and intelligent information management solution. SAP Data Intelligence can pipeline and orchestrate big data across hybrid environments and can deal with diverse data sets, for instance with structured data, unstructured data, large amounts, and more. You can leverage other SAP Enterprise Information Management solutions, such as SAP Data Services, together with SAP Data Intelligence. The key characteristics here are the support of multiple data integration use cases with data-focused access. So, for instance, to access data through tables and views, libraries. The need for high-frequent event processing and advanced data transformations, for instance, with the help of machine learning technologies. Moving on to the third use case, define integration best practices. With the help of integration best practices, you can govern and safeguard the integration development. Well-defined integration best practices allow you to scale out the integration development across and beyond your organization. A good starting point for defining best practices are integration architecture blueprints. These blueprints illustrate well the use of several integration technologies in orchestration, including the integration points with business applications. They are complemented with decision criteria and characteristics which help integration developers to choose the right blueprint for an integration requirement. Furthermore, the blueprints are complemented with integration do's and don'ts, implementation instructions, and more. Here you can see an example of an architecture blueprint, which is defined for the integration use case A-to-A integration, so it's an application-to-application integration use case, and the integration domain, which is here on-premise to cloud. On the left, the characteristics and decision criteria are outlined, such as the need for mappings, protocol mediation. On the right side, you can see which SAP integration services, such as SAP Cloud Platform Integration, SAP Cloud Connector, are being used and how they are interconnected. As part of the ISAM framework, each architecture blueprint is complemented with an info sheet. This sheet provides further information, such as how to implement the blueprint, for instance with the help of tutorials, other conditional integration services which you may choose depending on your requirements. Moving on to the last use case, to enable a practice of empowerment. The best integration strategy, hybrid integration platform, and best practices will not help if you miss to define the organizational dimension for your integration. You need to enable a practice of empowerment for scaling up and scaling out integration know-how across and beyond your organization. Therefore, it's recommended to establish integration as a recognized discipline and to position integration as a strategic differentiator. You may also improve communication amongst the integration development teams. This can be accomplished by defining and introducing integration roles, setting up a dedicated integration strategy team, and by rolling out integration guidelines in your organization. This also includes the creation of safe services for integration. For instance, for integration developers working in different lines of businesses, and to empower citizen integrators, which are lines of business users, to implement integrations within their application area on their own. To help you with that, the ISAM framework provides, for instance, predefined integration roles with a task in an SAP context, guidance on how to introduce an integration expert team, and more. Now let's move on to the business benefits for your organization. With the SAP Integration Solution Advisory methodology, you can raise the integration maturity level of an organization while moving from an ad hoc integration to a systematic approach based on well-defined integration standards. You can simply follow the use cases of the ISAM framework and along that apply the delivered accelerator while also taking specific customer context factors into account. Finally, let's take a look on how you can get started with ISAM. If you would like to explore the full scope of ISAM, then check out the ISAM landing page at sap.com/integration methodology for further details, such as blogs from experts, webinars, and integration guides. There is also an interactive integration strategy app available. Take the quiz and you will be directed to the full scope of the ISAM framework, which is available there for download. With that, I would like to thank you for watching this video about the SAP Integration Solution Advisory Methodology. Happy integrating and goodbye!